Your interest rates for credit cards, new car, and private student loans, and even some mortgages are likely going up after tomorrow. The Federal Reserve is meeting today and tomorrow and has already indicated it intends to raise interest rates for the first time since 2018. Since the start of the pandemic, rates have been at near zero, but we're expecting the Fed to raise it by 0.25%. And the Fed has indicated more incremental increases are coming throughout this year. So let me explain how this is going to impact your wallet. Generally, the Fed wants to keep inflation hovering around 2%. But from all my videos right now, inflation is at a 40-year high, 7.9%, which is way too high. And I have told you in several other videos, the Fed has one huge tool to regulate the economy. That tool is interest rates. When the economy is sluggish, they lower it like they did during the pandemic. And when the economy is too hot, like it is right now, they raise it. By raising interest rates, the Fed makes borrowing money more expensive for consumers and businesses, so they hold off on making investments, which in turn cools off demand and holds down prices. And as a secondary effect, if demand starts to go down, it also alleviates the strain on the supply chain, which I have told you in several videos has been a mess worldwide and is also contributing to this inflation. Now, there is a lag time between the Fed's interest rate hike and the impacts on your loans. And for a time, unfortunately, we may see high prices, high interest, and high inflation. But eventually the inflation and the prices will start to come down. There is a positive here, though. If you have a savings account, this rate hike may be helpful to all that money you got in savings eventually. Tomorrow's move by the Fed is going to be tricky because of worldwide issues. Businesses in this country and around the world are still trying to recover from the pandemic hit they took. The supply chain problems are getting better, but they're certainly not solved. Plus, China just went into a massive lockdown because of what they deem a serious COVID-19 outbreak. And of course, the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is disrupting crude oil supply. This expected rate hike will be a very tough balance. If the Fed raises it too much, they risk stalling the economic recovery. But if they raise it too little, inflation may continue. Here's what happened today with Russia and Ukraine in just 60 seconds. Missile attacks have finally come to the doorstep of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Negotiations between Russia and Ukraine continue today, but the Kremlin said a breakthrough is far off. Talks will continue tomorrow. As the fighting ratchets up, President Biden announced he will be traveling to Brussels next Thursday for a joint meeting with our NATO allies to discuss how NATO can further support Ukraine. Ukraine's president appeared via live video conference before a session of Canada's parliament and received a 2-minute standing ovation tomorrow. President Zelensky takes his message to the United States Congress, where he will address our country's Democrats and Republicans at 9 a.m. Eastern. That message will be carried live on television. President Biden is expected to address our country after President Zelensky's address to Congress and is expected to outline the help that we've already provided Ukraine and what more the United States will do. Unlikely a no-fly zone or more fighter jets will be included in that.